So it is my release week for Press Start. Not that you would know from looking at my social media or the wall behind me, because this has been a Murphy's Law kind of release. Hi, my name is Dawn Dalton. I am a freelance writer and an author, and Tuesday was the release of my second novel, Press Start, which is the second book in the House That Gaming Built series. It also marks just over a year since Press Start was first published. And to say that this release was full on crazy pants and did not go off the way I had planned is an understatement. So let's talk about what went wrong and how I'm going to fix it for this book and going into the future. First things first, I would apologize for the fact that I look super duper rough, but it is springtime in Missouri, and that means lots and lots of allergies. And mine have been going crazy this week because the weather has been fluctuating super hard, and I cannot seem to catch a break. So let's start with what the plan was. The plan was, just like with Game On, I was going to film a bunch of short form videos, take a bunch of pictures of my beautiful book, and use those to post all over social media. Here on YouTube, on my shorts, on my TikTok, all over my Instagram, Facebook, post everything on my website. What actually happened was I have no book. And that's where everything fell apart. I got my book into formatting later than I had originally hoped, fairly certain later in the process than when I did Game On. I did not order a proof copy, and I think that's where everything really went downhill, is I didn't order a proof copy. My copy of Game On that I used for everything was the proof copy, and as soon as that shipped, I actually went back in and went, I'm just going to use my digital proof as the final. I looked at it, it's fine, go to print. This time around, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to order my author copies, and one of those is going to be mine. It's going to be fine, it's going to be great. So I just went, digital copy was fine, go to print. Digital copy wasn't fine. I forgot to hit a couple buttons, and I missed the title page and the copyright page. So that delayed author copies becoming available by a couple of days when Draft to Digital got back to me and was like, hey, by the way, you don't have these, you have to have them to go to print. I had to go back in, check mark those, and so me ordering my print copies was delayed by a couple of extra days above what I could have done if I just ordered a proof copy. And then we sat and we waited. And about 5 days after I ordered my author copies, which I did also order copies of Game On so I can refill my author stash, we got the confirmation that the books were in pre-shipment. And there they sat, and sat, and sat. And release day came and went without any notifications, any movement on my books. Until today, which is technically the day after release day, and they are finally on their way to me. So, yay, but at the same time, boo. The good thing is, because I am a self-published author, missing release week is not a huge thing, especially because I'm super tiny, and let's be honest, most of the people who are going to buy the book will still buy the book as soon as they realize that the book is out, or in the case of my friends, as soon as I get my book. But it did cause such a hiccup for me getting all of my promotional stuff done that it made me take a much harder look at what I do or what I don't do for promotional material and how I'm going to adjust for my next book and basically everything after this. So, what I'm gonna do going forward. With this book, as soon as it comes in, I am going to take all the videos, do all of the fun stuff that I was planning on doing with this book just a week later than originally planned. I also am going to go back and make a bunch of infographic posts for both Game On and Press Start. The really cool, like, here's the picture of the book and little arrows going out and talking about the different tropes and stuff about the book. I've noticed a lot of authors do that, and I really do enjoy it. So I need to make a bunch of my own. So that will be one of the things I will be doing going forward with all of my next releases as well. The other thing that I need to do is obviously get my book into formatting much sooner than 2.5, 3 weeks before publication date. I need at least a month's lead time on the book going into formatting so that I don't run into this problem again. I also need to order a proof copy so that I can have the book in my hands for all of the fun videos and short form media and pictures and awesomeness, so that I can have that all queued up ahead of time. I am going to be doing a release schedule so that I know, okay, a month and a half before the book comes out, I have to have this done. Otherwise, I need to push back my release date. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. And I need to get over my fear of selling myself and selling my books. Because that is one of the biggest parts of this, is the fact that I am so nervous about being the person who's always like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, that I do the exact opposite. With Game On, my biggest cheerleaders for that book were my friends and family. They were the ones that sold that book. It wasn't until I started joining Discord servers for completely unrelated things and realizing that there were other writers and authors in those servers because we shared other interests that, you know, they were like, oh yeah, I'm working on my book. I'm like, oh yeah, I just published my book. And everybody's like, what's the name of the book? What's it about? And I sold almost as many copies to mutuals in Discord servers than I did to my friends and family. So I need to just get on a schedule for talking about my books, talking about my backlist, because now I have a backlist. I have 2 books out. I am a multi-published author. So I do need to come up with a good marketing plan. And I think part of that is going to be me creeping on all of the authors that I follow on social media to see what they do and see what bits and pieces I can use in my own marketing strategy. So while this has been Murphy's Law and release date came and went and I still don't have a copy of my book, I'm not giving up. And I'm going to take this as the lesson it is, and I'm going to use it. And I know my sister is going to give me a very disappointed look because she and I had a huge discussion after Game On came out about how I really didn't do much in the way of marketing. I didn't use the resources I have at my fingertips, a phone call away. And I'm gonna learn from this and move on. And if you are still here and want to learn and grow with me, be sure to feed that algorithm, boop that like button, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.